You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AfterBuzz TV's Hell's Kitchen After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Hell's Kitchen After Show.
There it is.
Something about it.
Just gotta let it marinate.
They went through hundreds and hundreds of songs, decided the Ohio players had the right funk for the Hell's Kitchen opening theme. Welcome to the Hell's Kitchen After Show.
Yes.
Yes, it is Season 12.
Season 12.
Episode 2.
Episode 2.
19 chefs are competing.
Yes.
My name is Leo Quinones, and if you love the two words, get out! This is the show for you. If you love having Gordon throw chefs out, if you love seeing people just stressed out beyond anything on reality TV, you must be a Hell's Kitchen fan, and we are so glad that you are here, and we have surprises in store. First and foremost, I gotta say, I'm riding shotgun with my boy right here, my friend Lem Gonsalves. Lem, thank you so much for being here.
I'm honored to be here.
You know,
Hell's Kitchen is literally my favorite show of all time.
I usually watch it by myself, so it's cool I get to watch it with you.
Right.
You know, so we can see what's going down. And,
yes.
you know, first of all, this is our second show. So I just want to thank everybody. You know, this is the number one Hell's Kitchen fan in the world already. Mm-hmm. And we are just doing so great on iTunes. If you want to hear this show anywhere in the world, just go to iTunes and do us a favor, Lem and I. Mm-hmm. AfterBuzz is here for you. Mm-hmm. Put a nice little review in there.
Yes.
1 or 2 sentences. We dig it, and refer a friend, and it's incredible. So
by the way, we were number 6 in the top 10.
You know what? That's the power of the Gordon Army.
Yes.
Okay. So
yes.
That's what you want. You wanted it, and you got it. This is exactly what we do every single week. Lem's going to be here. He's committed.
I'm going to be here.
I'm going to be here.
You're going to be here.
And you know what? It's a pleasure and an honor. So with that said, Gurav is gone.
Can we have Mona Simons, please?
Yeah.
It was just, man.
You know we all do it. Everybody gets their fingers in the risotto.
Yes,
okay.
Always.
Okay, so we move on from Gurav. Mm-hmm. Okay, now we have 19 chefs. So let's take it to the beginning of this one. It was kind of a, you know, Hell's Kitchen is always known, Lem, for these crazy, crazy wake-up calls. Mm-hmm. Whether it's a marching band or a siren.
Right.
This time, they were popping wheelies in the dorms.
Motorbikes.
Yeah, you know, full revved up, and then they got all the chefs downstairs, and then what happened, they had that dome of death, you know, so that was kind of different.
That was cool.
Gordon was stressing, you know, he wants teamwork. Mm-hmm. And if one of these 3 guys in that globe of death screws up, it's over.
Done.
That's how a kitchen needs to run. So did you think that was effective?
I think it was definitely something for them to see what he was saying. Mm-hmm. I think it was a good visual, if you say, that they need to work together, because that's in seasons past, and like you, I'm sure have seen every single season because we're super fans, but it's always a problem with working together with these people. They're strangers. They're just now getting together. Mm-hmm. They don't know how each other work. So I think it was a good visual for them to see that. And I liked how they kind of thought maybe they were going to ride bikes because the cameras came out. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, they were tricycles.
Jean-Philippe comes out in tricycles.
Right.
Something weird about adults on tricycles that you're not really used to. So they had to do some rudimentary cooking skills.
Yes.
They had to, separated chicken, some trout, some shrimp, shuck some oysters. And,
omelet.
Yeah, and an omelet. Big people on a little bike.
Right.
It's just kind of weird.
Right.
And then we had our first real, I guess, kind of injury. And poor Chris, cutting that chicken up in that immense pressure, all of a sudden, man, sliced himself up.
Right.
And at the end of that challenge, well, the guys won. They got to go to San Francisco, the Epic Roast House.
Yes.
Epic Roast House, if you're watching AfterBuzz TV right now, Lem and I, we will try the oysters.
We'll try them.
We'll look out over the San Francisco Bay and have a great time. Okay?
Yes, we will.
But the great thing I remember about that challenge was the very end. I like Ralph Johnson on the bike. You know what, Ralph?
Because it fit him? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not just saying. I'm just saying. You know what? He didn't look as ridiculous as someone way too big for it.
Because he's like 3'11".
Well, you know what? I want to go straight to the source.
Okay.
19 chefs compete.
Yes.
So we're here, the #1 Hell's Kitchen fan show. I want to go. I thought about Ralph. We gave him a shout out last week. You know, he's cooking in Boston.
Yeah.
He's going after his culinary dream. And I believe Steve, our producer, put him up online. Ralph Johnson, the little bull. Are you there, buddy?
Oh, I'm here. Thanks for that shout out, by the way, last week.
I know it's late. It's late for you.
Yeah.
It's late for you
I
on
look
the East
pretty
Coast.
big on that tricycle, don't I?
Well, you know, I say that with love, buddy. So thanks for joining us. You're our first chef to ever join us on the Hell's Kitchen After Show. So
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Hey, I appreciate it, but hey, let's make it memorable.
Well, let's make it memorable. Let's start with the question that every Hell's Kitchen fan wants to know. Ralph Johnson, what's it like to cook inside Hell's Kitchen?
No one understands. No one ever knows. It's very, very intense. You know what I mean. You're trying to impress a Michelin star chef. You know, people don't understand. Like, how can everyone keep screwing up on scallops? Come on, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's like, you don't practice scallops when you're going into this show. You know what I mean? And when you work for a Michelin star chef, it's his name on his food. You know what I mean? It's if anyone knows in the kitchen and you work for a great chef, he does not let anything slide. It's his name on the food, no matter who's cooking it.
Right.
So, like, it's got to be perfect.
Interesting. Now, Ralph, I have a question for you. When you were in this process, and I know there are certain things that you can and can't say yet, but in this process, there was a scene in the part when everybody had to go back, you had to deliberate. This is the second episode we're talking about, and you were just upset, and you hit the counter. What were you feeling at that moment? Like, what was going through you at that time?
Well, you know, it was just aggravating because I thought we had a little rocky start in the beginning, and we kind of get it going, and then I was working on the station. At the beginning, you're working with two guys on each station, so,
right?
Like, you know what I mean? And a few things were screwing up, and then I thought it was going well, and I was just, you know what I mean? Because enough is enough, you know. Like, when you work for some great chefs in your time, and you're getting kicked out of the kitchen again. Like, I thought we had it going, and obviously it didn't happen tonight.
All right, let's get to Gordon Ramsay. Now, I guess everyone who watches Hell's Kitchen is stunned at the rapid rate of speed in which he calls out the dinner tickets. It's phenomenally fast. How is it to try and key in? He's doing, you're doing 100 diners, blue team, red team. What's it like hearing Gordon make that call, Ralph?
You better learn it quick. That's all I can say. Like I said before, you have to listen. You got to know your menu. You know, he's serious. Like I said, it's his name on that food that's going out. So, you know what I mean? You gotta pick up your game, and you gotta basically remember, like, we get it. They go over the menu, and they get you a few times. They give you a little bit to get that menu down. Like, we had all our books out. They give you a menu, and you better get it down. Otherwise, you're gonna look pretty bad.
Ralph, I have all my notes here, and before I even know that you were the one calling in, I have here written, and Leo can vouch for me. Ralph is my favorite, and I have it written right here. If you could see it, but I think you're my favorite because I feel like you have a lot of passion in what you're doing. And can you just talk a little bit about how that transcended into the kitchen when you were on the show?
Basically, like I said, I've always been a sports kind of fan, growing up throughout, high school, even elementary. I've always been a team kind of guy. Like, I've always liked to work with, a group, and when it goes right, it's great. I've always been I love intense.
Well, Ralph,
And
I'm sorry.
sitting behind a car, sitting behind a computer is just not my style.
Gotcha.
You know, and I love how it's a team sport, and when it goes well, it's great, and when it doesn't, it still feels great because you always want to try to prove something. You always want to, you know, overcome something. If it doesn't go well, if it does go well, you always want to make it better.
That's why they call him the Little Bull. Ralph, hang on. Don't go anywhere. I got to tell you right now, I am captivated by this new show, Chasing Maria Menounos.
Yes.
Okay? Imagine the pressure on this young lady. She's 35. She's with Kevin 15 years. And now this reality show is about her life, living with her parents, her mom, her dad, 6 dogs, and just go, 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 go. Tuesday nights, it's 9 Central. Let's take a look at a preview from Chasing Maria Menounos. It's awesome.
Tuesdays on Oxygen.
I'm Maria Menounos, and my life can get a little crazy. I host Extra. I'm an actor, producer, dancer, wrestler, and a lot of other things. I live with Kevin, my boyfriend of 15 years. Do you really love me?
I would say that I'm in serious like.
And my parents. Yep, I just said I live with my parents.
You drive me crazy.
You drive me crazy. My parents want us to get married.
You both love each other. Get married.
Kevin and I don't. I am going to get married when I want to get married. I think I want kids. Kevin definitely doesn't want them now.
This is being pushed on to us.
And of course, my parents wanted them yesterday.
This year you gotta have it.
And I have a house full of people counting on me financially. If I take my eye off the ball, everything can fall apart.
It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or wants us to do. It's what we want to do.
Everyone thinks that they know what's best for me, but I'm really the only one. I have got to figure things out.
Chasing Maria Menounos is so new. Every Tuesday at 9 Central, starting March 18, only on Oxygen.
I will say this. She works her gola off, and that is Greek, and you have to research that one on the Greek-English translation. And I have 2 words for this show. Lem, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Cleavage selfies. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. You have to actually see the show. All right, so we're back with one of the 19 chefs left in Hell's Kitchen.
The bull.
The little bull himself from Boston. We're talking to Ralph Johnson. And Ralph, what is your strategy as far as camaraderie in the dorms of Hell's Kitchen?
Basically, I'm like, you know, I'm looking over, I'm figuring people out right now. I'm kind of, you know, I'm not sitting back. I'm still aggressive. You know, I'm still having a great time. I'm just feeling this, you know, this show out, this competition. But at the same time, I'm not trying to stick my nose into it deep yet.
Okay. Who do you jive with the best, and who is really making your skin crawl?
There's a few people that's making my skin crawl.
We've got time. We've got time, Ralph. List them off.
Well, we'll keep that show. You know, next week maybe we'll show a little bit more, and the week after. But you know, who knows? But it's just there's a lot of people that are making my skin crawl right now.
All right. Well, listen. Back east, we know that, we pray that you guys are all good, but we know you've been battered by cold and you're battered by storms. So here you are, a kid from Boston, and now you're sitting in San Francisco having lunch with Gordon Ramsay. Lem and I and the rest of America are just going, wow, that must be a sweet deal. Ralph, break it down from the time you left Hell's Kitchen to traveling on the airplane to getting to that amazing day in San Francisco. Relive it for us.
You know, it was very, very exciting, you know, going into that. Like, I rode on that bike like it was no problem going into that challenge. And, you know what I'm saying? But we're a little bit behind. But you know what? I fit right on that. There's no problem. So I cruised right into that challenge. And basically, you know, we put out a great omelet. And then actually just feeling that, you know, cheese, because I thought we had it last time. We came out on really, really strong last episode. Last challenge or last service. I thought we really had it, but you know, the girls sneaked up right behind us. Basically, you know, it felt like relief. You know, actually, you know, sitting back doing, you know, the chores or whatever. Like last time I had a scrub table, like that wasn't fun. You know what I mean? Like, or, you know, break down the staging for, you know, for the stage and stuff like that.
And Ralph, you did have a great sense of humor. Man, I can't wait to start cleaning and doing all the scrubbing.
I'm saying, like, you think I'm happy about that? Like, you serious? You know, I'm not happy about that. I want to enjoy my time here. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna want to be scrubbing and cleaning and sweeping or you know, arguing about some guys upstairs, you know, eating. You know, so after winning that, it was like such a relief. You know, we got the private plane over there. You know, and
private plane.
Oh yeah. Private planes, flew over there.
Take us inside the plane.
Lunch right up the fisherman's.
Ralph, you're going too fast.
I believe it was called.
Ralph, you're going too fast. I'm in the plane still. So tell me about the plane. Are they allowing you guys to drink beers or have champagne? What's it like in the plane?
I can't tell you that. But,
I'll say that's a yes,
Lem. It's memories for life, and you know, one in a lifetime experience.
Oh my gosh! Well,
and that was that's the whole trip. Like going over to San Fran and then, you know, enjoying even the segways. Living in Boston, segways is just starting to come out, but like just driving around, it was great. It was, like I said, I'm glad I applied. You know, I mean, it was very, very interesting, and it was great memories and great experience at the time.
Ralph, I have a question. We were talking about you being from Boston, and you know, right now, of course, it's still cold. Hell's Kitchen obviously films in L.A. Do you miss the L.A. weather? Do you miss like L.A. period as far as being out here and filming the show?
I miss it so much that I'm going to be moving as soon as this thing gets off. You know?
Is that right?
Maybe that's a clue.
I'm all about going out west. You know, it's a whole. I mean, besides waking up too early for fantasy football, but checking out my injuries. But you know, I love the West Coast. That's one of my main goals is to move out there, and hopefully that happens.
Awesome.
Well, we're trying to learn about you, Ralph, as the, you know, the other 19 chefs. So why don't you tell us about when and where you were when you fell in love with food, and how would you rate yourself as a chef today?
Basically, it was a long road. You know, basically I tried a few things, this and that, and you know, I was in the. You know, I did a little bit of electrician. I did a little bit of just all kinds of different trades, and I just really enjoyed interacting with guests or customers or locals or residents or people who are friends and family. And that's the one thing I really enjoyed, is just having a nice conversation, getting to know someone, and basically making them happy, something that I produce and put out to them. That was when I really fell in love, and the cooking really for me comes second. I mean, I know I can cook well. You can teach yourself to cook well, and you can make sure the dish is great. But at the same time, it's actually interacting with people is the hardest thing, and it's where you become great, and that's how I feel. I love interacting with people.
How has Gordon Ramsay upped your game, Ralph?
Believe it or not, like a lot. I would say a great amount. Just getting to know, you know, a guy like that, high standards. You know, basically just being yourself and just explaining how you feel and being upfront, and you know, and if it's not right, you know, you basically turn around and you fix it. And it was a great experience. The guy is phenomenal.
Awesome. I have a question. We had Sheila, who's the casting director, here last week, and she had some awesome things to say about you. She was kind of going down the list, and it seemed like you were one of her favorites, and we just enjoyed her on the show. Do you remember like the interaction that you had when you first met her in the casting portion?
Oh, I did. She is a very smiley person.
Yeah.
she was just, you know, very exciting. That's all I can say. Like she was, you know, smiling and very exciting all the time.
Season 12, let's look at the end game, okay? The prize, $250,000, and working for Gordon Ramsay at a head chef at, I believe, the London in West Hollywood. Ralph, imaginary. You had a suitcase with $250,000. How is that going to change your life? What are you going to do with the loot? Theoretically, if you win Hell's Kitchen.
I would invest, open up something, and definitely move out west and basically enjoy that weather. You know, it's something, you know, and that's for me. Like, I'm taking it serious right now. You know, you got some people, you know, just going in there and feeling it out. Like, I'm feeling it out, but I'm at the same time, I'm taking it serious, you know, and I definitely want that money. And I'm not going to go down not swinging. And who wouldn't want that suitcase full of money? I mean, and living out in beautiful weather, like,
yeah. Well,
someone would be crazy if they didn't want that.
I'll tell you this. There's a lot of influential watchers and viewers and listeners to this Hell's Kitchen after show, and I'm sure a lot of restaurateurs, a lot of investors. Ralph Johnson looking to make a restaurant for himself on the West Coast, you know, looking for partners, as it were. How's that plug, Ralph? Is that okay?
Well, I'm ready. If they can handle me, then I'm ready.
The bull.
Yeah. Now, if we were gonna walk into your dream restaurant, Ralph, take us through it. Take us through the menu and what makes it different from other restaurants.
Very casual, very low key, but delicious food, and having a good time. That's all I want. I want to see smiles. I don't want to see, you know, I love seeing dresses and great suits and ties, but at the same time, I want to see, you know, smiles. You know, that's what I want to see.
Right on. And what would you say would be the menu? Describe some dishes for me, for us.
Local ingredients, fresh and easy, simple and sweet. You know, nothing. I learned from the French. You know, that's where I went to school, was the French cuisine. But at the same time, I just want something hearty and delicious and simple and just, you know what I mean, easy and clean and absolutely delicious.
So that's your restaurant, but millions of people who watch Hell's Kitchen, Ralph, they see the cooks, they see what they're doing, but millions of people are afraid to get in the kitchen and get in there and pick up a pan and chop up an onion. So you're a guy who's been there. You've been through trial and error, cuts and burns and everything. What would you say to a novice person who's on the fence about getting in the kitchen and starting to cook? What would you say to them?
Exactly what you just said. I can tell by just chopping up an onion. You can put anything in front of him. How he uses his knife skills, you can basically see from a mile away what kind of cook he is, or chef, or how experienced he is with his knife skills. All I would say to a younger chef or a chef that's getting into the field is, you got to put your heart into it, and you got to believe into it, and there's every day is something different. Every day is something different, and if you enjoy that, then you're in the right field.
Nice.
Ralph, I got a question for you. Do you have a favorite person or someone special that you like to cook for?
You get me there.
So you get me.
Actually, there's a certain person that I cook for. My parents. I mean,
Okay.
you know, my parents come down to Boston. I'm originally from New Hampshire. You know, that's be my favorite people to cook for. But obviously, young ladies too. You know what I mean? Like, any young lady in front of me that wants to, you know, need to cook for them, I'm happy.
That's the way to the heart, right? To the food, yes.
What's your Twitter handle there, Ralph? Do you have a Twitter handle?
We'll get to that in the next show if you invite me on.
Oh, absolutely. You know, hey, we got a long way to go here. So, you know, this is our second show, and we're just phenomenally happy that everyone's kind of taken to it. Let me give Ralph Johnson a real plug here, where he's working at, because we are all over the country here. So in Boston, the Augusta Bar and Bistro. Tell me about it, Ralph.
It's great. It's in the North End. It's in the Fairmont Hotel. Great restaurant. It's secluded and it's very low key, but at the same time has a great clientele of residents, locals, and it has a great cooking score in Boston. So it's phenomenal. It's Italian Mediterranean, but it's getting into the little bit of we're getting into the raw bar. I mean, we're on the East Coast. The seafood is phenomenal, and that's the way to go nowadays.
Well, here's what's happening at the Augusta Bar and Bistro in Boston. Restaurant Week is happening until March 30th. So the dishes that are featured will put your shirt in the dirt. A veal bolognese, oh man, crispy potato gnocchi, fresh raw bar. I'm telling you, this is the real deal, is it not, Ralph?
Oh yeah, it's the only way to go. I mean, and plus it's right on the water, especially in the summer. Our patio, it's about 60 seats. It's right on the water. It's one of the best views in Boston. You can look us up, Aragosta. It's on Facebook. It's online. Open table reviews are awesome. Look us up. It's the best, one of the best views in Boston.
Beautiful. Who do you look up to, Ralph?
What's that, sorry?
Who do you look up to?
Who do I look up to? I look past a lot of people. My goals and my achievements are, it's just pretty much the sky's the limit. I wanna achieve everything as much as possible.
Right on. Well, listen, buddy, we have to get to talking about predictions, and you can't be a part of that conversation via the Fox deal of secrecy. But Ralph Johnson, are you going to come back on our after show? Please say yes.
Oh, I'll come on if you guys invite me, if you like me after this show.
Awesome.
Well, listen, we have to get to the Meathook Round, but Ralph Johnson, you are a competitor, and good luck to you and the rest of Hell's Kitchen. Give them hell. Boston strong, buddy.
Yeah, true. I hopefully we kick those red girls some booty over there.
Yeah!
Kick the red girl's booty. I like that.
Ralph Johnson, the Little Bull, thanks for being a guest on our Hell's Kitchen After Show. We really appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, Ralph.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, man, it's late in the East Coast. Thank you so much, Ralph. Have a shot for us. Here we are, Tri-County.
Right.
Okay, well, now we have to really just say thank you to everybody who's just magnetically come to the Hell's Kitchen After Show. Mm-hmm. And if you're watching us, that's fantastic. We appreciate that. But really, piercing the globe through iTunes, what's the amazing thing about iTunes is it's 100% free. Mm-hmm. And the podcast doesn't cost you anything. So all you got to do is find us, download for free, subscribe, but please, for Lem and my sake, give us a good review.
Right.
We appreciate it, and that's our way of, succeeding.
Yeah.
We're number 6 right now. Mm-hmm. Gordon's Army is not going to stop. You can share this with your friends, send the link to your friends, blast it on your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram even. Get us out there, and we appreciate it because Hell's Kitchen fans stick together.
Yes, we do.
But now
it's
time for the Meathook Round.
Oh, no.
At the end of every Hell's Kitchen episode, someone gets hooked and burned. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Gaurav was the first to go.
Yes.
So let's talk about this meat hook ceremony, Lem.
Yes.
All right. Obviously, Gordon said, "Get out!" to the blue team first.
Right. They were the first to go.
Here's some of the mishaps during service. Simone, she tanked those risottos.
First risotto.
They were just misseasoned and they were bad. The tableside oysters were a catastrophe. DeMarco, now he can't sear tuna. You don't put tuna into a cold pan because what happens then is you don't have that nice sear. You get, gray food.
Right.
And if it doesn't have the caramelization, it's absolutely going to be hideous.
Right.
Beth Taylor. Now, she's got a little showmance going, doesn't she? She has a little showmance going there.
Richard.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, wow, those two together.
Yeah.
You know what? It's going to be loud. But Beth Taylor could not cook the lobster to save her life.
Bad.
It was cold and raw. And then Keisha, who I'm gravitating towards, she's got some attitude.
Oh, you're taking my... Oh.
Go ahead.
We can't... I mean, I'm just saying, I'm gravitating to her as well. Maybe we just have the same taste in people.
I'm sure there's millions of others who are liking her, too.
Yeah, I really like her. I like that she's standing up for herself. She's asserting herself.
Yeah.
She's got into it with Nicole on several occasions. They started it earlier, and then they had, words back when they were doing the deliberation. But I just like how she's standing for herself. She's from the South.
Yeah.
She's repping the South very well.
You know what I loved about her,
What's
Lem?
that?
I love when she opened the oven and she goes, I'm taking care of these wellies like they're my babies.
Yes.
So she was the Wellington Wonder Girl tonight.
Right,
and, you know, they came out beautifully.
Right.
Chef Chris blew it with the raw halibut. And then Gabriel, double bad.
Twice put up raw chicken.
Yeah, and the thing about raw chicken is you can't overlook it.
Right.
You will get sick. You will go to the hospital, and you could possibly die. So that's why Gordon was saying, get out.
Right.
And that's, to me, my favorite part of the show. you, get out.
He just starts doing the roll call.
Oh, yeah. And so the guys were gone, and I'm like, okay, the women got it. But all of a sudden, the girls imploded, and the red team was also thrown out of the kitchen.
Right,
So here
right.
we have. Let's go over it right now. I mean, I don't know if I can do this. I mean, these ceremonies to me are just so stressful, if you will. You know, but I do have to tell you one quick story.
Sure.
I have been to Hell's Kitchen.
And I'm very jealous. Just saying that out, putting out there.
I was jealous to everyone who's ever been in Hell's Kitchen. I got through my friend Dave Loud. He said, Leo, he goes, you want to go to Hell's Kitchen? I'm like, huh? Hell's Kitchen? Do I want to go to Hell's Kitchen? Yes, I want to go to Hell's Kitchen. So my girlfriend and I went to Hell's Kitchen. It's not exactly what you think it is.
Really?
You know, I mean, it looks like the restaurant of your dreams.
Really?
You know, remember American Psycho with Christian Bale?
Yes.
The restaurant that everyone was trying to get into was called Dorsia. You have to book a year in advance to get a table.
Right.
Well, Hell's Kitchen is like that.
Really?
Because there's a finite number of tables that are available.
Right.
There's 100 diners, so that could be 25 tables or less because some parties are 5 or 6 people.
Right.
So I went in there, and much to my amusement and much to my happiness, there's a free booze policy at Hell's Kitchen.
Is that so?
So you can have wine, you can have beer, you can have as much as you can put down. And what's great is there's no drinking and driving at Hell's Kitchen. If you've had one too many to drink, they will take care of your cab. So if you're in Culver City, where Hell's Kitchen is, you can take a cab to Palm Springs, or you can take a cab to San Diego, or wherever your home happens to be.
Are you serious?
Because the last thing that you want to have to do is, liquor people up and send them on their way to be like, a missile in a car. So
Sure.
So the booze is flowing. I'm looking at the red kitchen. I'm looking at the blue kitchen, and you kind of can't hear Gordon.
You can't.
Because you're in a restaurant and he's not mic'd for sound for your part of Hell's Kitchen.
Gotcha.
So all I hear every 5 minutes is a
bang on the
bang,
okay.
Boom, and then everybody looks over, and I just was so happy to be in there.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, when we watch the show, it's very, very intense.
Yeah.
A lot of things going on. And when you're as a diner, like you said, you can't really hear him because he's not mic'd for sound. But as a diner, when you can look over in the kitchen because it's open, do you see the intensity on these people's faces?
It's really hard, Ralph, because they are out of earshot
Lem.
and you don't hear what they're saying.
I'm not Ralph, I'm Lem.
I'm sorry. That's right. All right. Ralph Johnson, I know he's still listening. Lem, you're out of earshot. So it's kind of, you don't hear what's going on.
Okay.
You don't, unless you see them physically, like Joy was kind of like crying. Remember in the first episode last week, she was crying.
Right.
But other than that, you can't really tell what's going on. But I'm telling you something. It's not what it seems. I don't want to give away everything about what it's like to go to a taping of Hell's Kitchen, but I will tell you this. They do it in advance, so keep your ear out online. I'm trying to give you a tip. If you want to actually dine in Hell's Kitchen and you happen to be in the Southern California area, could you imagine? I mean, that's bragging rights.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And from what I remember, I had a great time. So
He said, what to remember? Key word. I see you took advantage of the booze policy. You didn't drive home, is what you're telling me, Leo.
Yeah. He's like, wobble out. Okay. Stumble out.
Right.
Get out of here.
Get out.
Yeah, but it was, a really a great time. And more on, as the season goes on, I'm going to give you a little bit more about what actually happens inside of Hell's Kitchen. And what's amazing is we're talking with executive producer Kent Weed and Arthur Smith. And I've got these guys on our radar. We're going to get them on the show. I know they're watching right now.
Yes.
And to tell these guys can tell us exactly what's going on. You're talking about 76 cameras, miles and miles and miles of cable. And so you're talking about miking all the tables in Hell's Kitchen so they can hear the diners, and then they have all those two-way mirrors, and then they have all of the chefs mic'd up, Gordon Ramsay mic'd up, Jean-Philippe mic'd up, Chef Andy and Chef James. Oh, by the way, little programming note.
Yeah.
Next week, Hell's Kitchen fans, sous chef James Avery is going to be right here.
Yes.
And he's going to be on the show. I'm telling you, we're bringing it.
We're bringing it.
Right out of the bat. I mean, Hell's Kitchen casting director, last week when you didn't know what chef was whom, we broke it down for you with Sheila Conlon.
All the way down.
And she's done every episode of Hell's Kitchen.
Yes.
Today, we brought a chef in.
Yes.
Ralph Johnson, the little bull.
The little bull.
He's your favorite, right?
He is my favorite.
Yeah, well, he called in, so he gets points for me. So, I'm pushing Ralph. You better get a black jacket.
Right.
And so we will have Chef James on the show. And again, follow us at AfterBuzz TV. Let us know how we're doing. Leo, we're doing great. Lem, we're doing great. Leo, we're doing lousy. Lem, we're doing lousy. We want your feedback. This is your show. This is the Hell's Kitchen show for the fans. There's never been anything like it, and we are going to take it to the next level. So Chef James is going to be in.
Yes,
all right.
Very excited.
You want to talk about Meathook?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about the men. Okay. Go back to your dorms and single out 2 nominees for eliminations.
Right.
So here we had Gabriel and DeMarco. Do you agree with those or you disagree with those on the Meathook?
I'm going to say I agree, simply because, especially in regards to Gabriel, we talked about him earlier about the chicken and it being not once but twice. And you even asked me, you said, hey, when it went up a second time, you said, do you think it's going to be good? And I said he learned his lesson. He knows it's going to be good. No, it's raw again.
I think the way they cleverly edit the show, they show Gabriel pleading to the gods.
Right.
And you know what? The god happens to be camera number 48. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, please, please, please. So they capture his anxiety, his stress, his fear, and then the worst thing actually happens. Look at this, all of you. Look at it. Look at it. It's raw.
Right.
It's raw.
I love the impression.
It's raw. You watch enough Gordon Ramsay. And by the way, I will say this, and I don't make a dime for saying this. Kent Weed, Arthur Smith, the producer, are going to love this. If you are a Hell's Kitchen fan and you can handle an F-bomb, get Hell's Kitchen seasons 1 through 10 raw and uncensored. You think it's bad on Fox, wait till you hear it when it's not, where they don't bleep anything. Just be prepared to go off the grid for about a month because you're going to watch every single season back to back to back. You're not going to answer phone calls. You may call in sick. It is the most hypnotizing. It's like watching a completely different show, uncensored.
You told me that last week.
It's so good. So if you see it out there, if someone has it, borrow it, check it out. Hell's Kitchen season 1 through 10 uncensored. All right. So Gabriel really screwed up on the chicken.
He did.
And if there's ever a terminal offense in Hell's Kitchen, I think the worst thing that you can possibly do with food when you're talking about serving people is raw chicken. Okay, you got raw pork. That's really deadly too. But raw chicken is really...
It's bad.
And the thing about chicken, when you're in that rush situation, is Gordon wants you to cook it, but then he wants you to take it off the fire and he wants you to let it sit for 5 minutes so the juices can redistribute. It's not getting cold because if you take a chicken out of the oven and you slice it right away, all the juice runs out and it's dry.
Right.
So these young chefs really may not know that aspect of letting it sit for a while, and that to me is the downfall of what happened to Gabriel. Okay, Lem, let's break down DeMarco.
Well, he was the one that screwed up the tuna.
Yeah.
And they were trying to let him, and this is the thing with that. I mean, it's searing tuna. I'm not a chef, but I know it has to be, the pan has to be hot. And it was interesting because the other chefs are like trying to come in and say, no, don't do it yet. No, don't do it yet after he messed up the first time, or so the first time to us that they showed us. But it was interesting that he still after all of the explanation, after Gordon Ramsay's yelling at him and telling him, no, make sure that pan is hot. Oh, it's not. Did you hear that?
Oh, no. It was a warm pan, and that is the kiss of death.
Right.
And I believe it was DeMarco that donned himself culinary Jesus.
Oh, that's right. In the first episode.
So, Jesus, maybe has some better habits in the kitchen. Come on. If you want to make a godly dish, you got to cook it right. All right, let's move over to the red team.
Yes.
Let's talk about the nominees. The nominees were Beth Taylor. Now, you think they're going to... What did you think about her nomination?
I thought it was just. She was the one that, according to what they showed us, 3 times, could have been more, but 3 times she messed up the fish.
The lobster.
Yeah, well, she had fish and lobster both.
Right.
So her station basically was a mess. I think personally, looking at her as the show is progressing, she's seems like she's not as fast and can't cook with the same intensity as the other chefs. That's the opinion that I get from looking at her. She kind of looks a little lost at times.
Yeah.
When he's calling out the orders, of course, he, as we were talking to Ralph, he calls them out really fast. So she seems a little lost, and she kind of just seems really out of her element. So I honestly, in my opinion, I thought she was going to be the one to go home.
Right.
She was not, but
I'll tell you something about her.
Yeah. Tell me, please.
She has a laser focus.
You think so?
For horse flesh in the bedroom because she was gunning for Richard, the 48-year-old chef.
Yeah.
Did she just lay it out there in a nonchalant? It was so bad. Every chef was like, "What's going on over there?"
Right.
So I think that there might be a showmance, a Bruin in Hell's Kitchen.
I don't know. I don't think Richard is feeling her, honestly, because even when she walked away and the guys were like, hey, what's up? Trying to give him, and he was just like, well, I just want to get some free food. I'm getting breakfast in the morning.
But did you hear what he said? He goes, you got somebody, you got a mama, baby? That's what Beth Taylor said.
Right.
And he says, oh, hey, I'm happily divorced.
Right.
So to me, that was like an open invitation. So
I think it was an open invitation to get some free stuff.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a little dorm diving.
Right.
Yeah, so that could definitely be happening. Okay, so Beth, hot for sex, not really doing so well with the raw lobster.
Right.
Okay, the other nominee, Simone.
Simone, yes.
Simone is that chef who always brings that wild-eyed look to the table, and it's a little bit of a crazy look. And you said that she was going to corner the crazy last week.
Oh yeah, well, based on what they showed us, going forward into the season, they always in the first episode they always give an overview of the season, and they just showed her at different times with, like you said, that wide-eyed, crazy look. I don't think she necessarily deserved to be nominated per se, but she messed up, but there was other people that messed up, and I'm not going to name anything because we're going to get into that. But I think I don't know. I think we're going to see more, and even when we watch the previews for the next episode, you see that she's really giving that crazy look, and Gordon is kind of figuring out like what's going on with you. So I think we're going to see more with her.
So Lem, you are Gordon Ramsay, and you have Gabriel. DeMarco. Who would you cut loose first, a Gabriel or DeMarco?
Just based on the service, I would say Gabriel, just because the offense of the chicken was really bad.
Agreed. Okay. You're Gordon Ramsay again. Beth Taylor or Simone Hammond, who would you cut loose?
Beth all day, every day.
Why is that?
Just because, again, going back to what I said earlier, she looked like she didn't have the intensity in the kitchen. She's not going to last. I think there was a moment, well, not during the show, but during when they have them off to the side and they're talking to them, and she was crying. I just don't think she has it for Hell's Kitchen.
She looks to me like a displaced kindergarten teacher. She looks like such a gentle woman. She doesn't look at home in Hell's Kitchen on the line. So I get what you're saying right there. So didn't Gordon say you're going to be a doormat? Everyone's going to walk right over you, so you do have to make some kind of impression in there.
You do.
All right, so we're getting into that, where they go to a commercial and you get the the cleaver chop right before the commercial. So we come back for it, and Gordon actually threw us all for a loop.
Yes,
did he not?
He did.
You state your business. Why do you think you should stay in Hell's Kitchen? Why do you think you should stay you and you? So he hears all 4 of them. And then something came out of his mouth, and I knew something was going to be different. Did I not, Lem?
You did. You did say that.
So he's like, tonight, the person leaving showed no leadership skills, no intuition, no passion. And I thought to myself, I know who's going, and it's not any of the four nominees. And so what happens then? Say it.
Nicole
Luntz. She was just a 135-pound bag of attitude. Lem, what did I say last week? Come on, I'm waiting.
I'm not saying because I like to be right, and you were right. I'm just gonna say you're right. You have to say what you said last week.
I couldn't believe she made it through the first Meathook ceremony. Gaurav or Nicole, Gordon, it's Leo.
Right.
I think you should have taken Nicole out the first week. Okay? You and I can have a man-to-man about this any single time that you want, but okay, she had to be the next one to go.
And see, I just disagree because I think there were people, and maybe it's just because I see that there's some drama with her, and I think part of the attraction for the show is the drama.
Some drama with her.
A lot of drama.
What is she? Okay, let's take it from another angle, Lem.
Okay.
What has Nicole Luntz done right?
You mean in the kitchen?
Yes. Or in the dorms. I'll give you that.
Okay, so
he's looking at his notes, everybody. He's referring to his notes, which are barren, for good things that Nicole Luntz has done on Hell's Kitchen.
Okay, you got me.
Okay.
You got me. I again, and I'm going with the whole picture of the show. I think I just wanted her there because I like what she was bringing, the element that she was bringing to the cast itself. Do you see what I'm saying? And I think also, I'll go on to say that, yes, she hasn't done great, but I thought she had potential. And that's what I was really looking at. I was looking at her potential. I said, here she is. She has an attitude. She definitely has a chip on her shoulder. She's from the East Coast, whatever. She's got that swag. But my thing was, I felt like she just, as soon as she got with the program, because she was definitely isolating herself, for sure. I definitely believe that. She was getting into it with everybody, or a lot of people. But I think she had potential, and that's all I'm going to say.
Here's what I'm going to say about Nicole Luntz. She imploded. She didn't reach out. She had a propensity to just throw up her hands and say, Chef is not looking even for a line cook who's going to give up. He's looking for someone to run the London West Hollywood and take that $250,000 grand prize. And this Nicole, and by the way, I'd like to add this. In the dorms, Chef Ramsay is disgusted by any chef who smokes cigarettes. He's with good reason. If you smoke cigarettes, okay, and this is my public service announcement for not smoking and you want to be a chef, the thing is about cigarettes, the tobacco dulls your palate. So, if you want, your palate is a very powerful part of being a chef. So smoking is not going to help. So when I see them all lighting up, I'm like, red flag, red flag, red flag, red flag. And, unfortunately, they do go on to win, but it's just, are we done with cigarettes or no?
Right.
Come on.
I mean, I understand exactly what he said. He said it publicly so many times on the show. I agree with you. And yes, she was a smoker. So
she's out. And you know what? So Gordon Ramsay has 4 in front of him, and he says, you know what? I want the person who hasn't done anything, and he points over Nicole, and Nicole gets the meat hook. And I hate to say it, and I know a lot of you watching and listening maybe felt the same thing, that he was going to do something different, but he went out of the 4 and he grabbed Nicole and he put her on the meat hook and he burned her face.
Done.
Love it. All right. So do you have any predictions, Lem?
It is that time for predictions.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, it's time for predictions.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right. So this is my prediction. I feel that, first of all, I think there hasn't been a team that won yet. There's been, both of them had to go back and pull 2 people. So my prediction for next round or next episode is that the red team is going to win. I think that the red team is going to win. I think they're going to pull themselves together. Overall, I think just as chef-wise, I think the red team has stronger chefs, as what we've seen so far, in my opinion. So I think the red team's going to win a challenge. And of course, there's going to be a lot of drama, which we saw in the previews, between, obviously there's a fight that they show in the dorms between the blue team.
Yes.
And so that's going to be interesting to watch. But I think the red team is definitely going to win. So I think someone's going to go on the blue team because they're going to want to do great.
If you're asking me, Lem, I think there's weed out the weak. There's a lot of dead weight hanging around Hell's Kitchen right now. There's 18 chefs left. Okay, so I literally need to see 7 or 8 more get out of there and get down to like the final 10. I'm liking Chef Anton Testino. He's got the gruffy voice,
Right.
and he's always there when you need him, whether it's for the challenge or whether it's for in service. I'm seeing him to pull out as a favorite.
Right.
So Chef Anton Testino, and you know what? He's from New Jersey, and he's 40 years old, and I think he's got the stuff that Chef is looking for.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
All right. Well, listen, it's been a great, great time.
It has been.
And Lem, we're going to be here. We're going to be here every single time.
Every single time.
After Hell's Kitchen.
Yes.
Thank you so much. iTunes, download us for free, give us a good review, and we thank you so much. It's the #1 Hell's Kitchen after show. It's for the fans, it's for you, and next week, Gordon's #1 in the kitchen, besides Chef Andy. Chef James is going to be on the show.
Yeah.
So you want Hell's Kitchen, you want insiders, you got it. Lem Gonsalves, thank you, my man.
Yeah, Leo, tell them where you can find it.
Well, you can follow me on Twitter. We just passed 50,000 followers today.
Awesome.
So you can follow me on Twitter. The handle, it's super easy. @MovieInterview, @MovieInterview. Follow me there. How about you, buddy?
You can find me at The Poet Saint, and that is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. All day, every day.
Don't forget, Tuesday nights, 10, 9 Central, Chasing Maria Menounos. It's the hottest reality TV show out there. And, of course, check out the after show right here at AfterBuzz TV. Our Twitter is @AfterBuzz. Right on! It's AfterBuzz TV?
Yes.
All right. We love you. Thank you, Steve, our great producer. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you all. And we will see you next time on the Hell's Kitchen After Show.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.